Um, and this is called the Film Critic. It's an merger cripple combination type thing. It was created by Bob Quigley, who did the Quigley cripple. He has since passed away. Unfortunately, he was a fantastic tire, and some of the patterns that he's done is really, really nice patterns. So, but actually, it was Ken. He said he'd seen a pattern that looked really neat, and he showed it to me, and I thought, "Holy crap, that does look neat!" And then I went home and I checked it out on the internet, and I checked it through YouTube, and Charlie Craven tied it. So the original was tied with a dub body, and normal stuff after that too. But I got thinking about it, that with the dub body, and I got thinking my denicizing stuff, and I wonder what the body would be like if you actually did it using synthetic quill. Just got some in the store here back about 4 or 5 months ago, and looking to use it in some different scenarios. So anyways, I thought that I would tie the body in synthetic quill. So just so you can see, this is, we got some different colors. So, some very natural colors. I begged and pleaded to get some exotic colors, if you will, some purple and pink, and they swear up and down that they're going to do it, but we'll see what happens. I'll keep begging, and hopefully we'll get some of those strange colors, because this stuff, I've used it on some Perdigons, and I've used it on a couple other different patterns too. So anyways, let's get started with it. It's kind of, like I said, it's an emerger cripple. There's a couple of things to it. I learned on the go, especially with the wing. There is a way of putting it on that makes it a little bit easier. The hook is, you could almost use any curved hook you want. I think Charlie Craven used the Super Dry from Arex, that particular hook. I've used that one. I've used it with just a scud hook, and I've used it with a clink hammer hook. The Super Dry is supposed to be Arex's kind of attempt at a clink hammer anyways. But I'm going to do it on a curved hook. It's a little bit easier and it's a little bit longer. So I've got a size, I think I got a size 14 here somewhere. Well, I had it out. What did I do with it? Well, I thought I got it out. Well, I do apologize on that. Then we will use a clink hammer hook. I'm using the Daiichi 1167, which is just a fuzz heavier than the original 1160, I believe. Now, part of the reasoning in the curved hook is the tail actually goes down on the bend a little bit more than normal. And he also uses 18-aught nano thread. So I've got 18-aught nano thread. And people complain about it frays a lot. It does, but if you moisten your finger and run your finger on it, it puts it right back into shape. Or if you want to, spin your bobbin and tighten it up, and that takes the fray out of it. And don't cut it, whatever you do. Just saw it. If you try to cut it, it will just drive you nuts. Just run your scissors along it, and it'll just like butter. So this is, like I said, 18-aught. You're going to bring that all the way around the bend, down along the bend. Then, like I said, you just fray like that, and you cut it right off. Oh! Yeah, I haven't done that in a long time. Not since this morning, anyway. Well. Try this again. There we go. So what I'm going to do is I have some Coq de Leon dry fly, and that's what he uses for the tail fibers. So what you're going to do is just pick one out. It's all nice and molted. I like it a little bit darker, so I'm looking for a darker one. And I'm going to take the fuzzies off of it. And I'm just going to pull the fibers out here, and you don't want a whole bunch, you just want to make a small tail here. And just roughly the length of the shank of the hook. I'm going to cut him off. Now you're going to come back down, or you're going to come down to where you where you want your thorax and body to kind of come together on the hook here. And then what you're going to do is you're going to take some poly and I don't know how risque I want to be here. That might be okay. I'm using one strand of the poly. I don't want it really heavy. Oops, and I put it on wrong. What you're going to do is when you put the wing on, you're going to put it over like this. So your wing is pointing back, not like you would if you were doing a parachute when you're putting it on this way, okay? And I found that out in the last couple of days, that when I bend it over, that it bends easier because of the way it's tied. If you tie it the other way around, it's harder to bend it over the way you want it to bend. So, and I'll explain a little bit more when I get there. So I'm going to take the wing here, roughly where I want it to be. I'm going to tie it down. And the key here now is, again, cut it right along that hook shank in that angle. When you do it in that angle, then what happens is when you tighten that down, right at the eye of the hook, you're going to still have a little bit of a gap there. With this pattern, you want that little bit of a gap. Then you're going to tie it up to here. Then you're going to take this, and you're going to create a post on this. And the farther up on this you can come with your post making, the better you're going to be. I'll do a little bit more work on that when I get there. Okay, so now when you tip that over, it's going to tip over, so it's going to make it a little bit easier. So when you tie it down here, it's going to tie down easier, okay? So that's why you do it that way. When you do it the other way, it doesn't want to do the bend over properly. Okay, now from here, I decide what color I want for a body. So I've been using this guy here. There's something about it just kind of just says, use me. No, I won't go there. I'm on TV. Oh dear. I behaved myself, boys. Okay, for some reason I forgot my bodkin, but I think we'll survive anyways. So this comes in little strips. You just... Michael says this is expensive, but the amount of flies you get out of it is... So there it is there. Yeah, I don't know if you can see it. It's when you're peeling it off. Okay? So you just peel it off like that. So that makes at least 2, maybe 3 flies. So, you know, I've already done a whole bunch off of it already. So you're getting tons of flies off of one card. Then you decide which you want, dark down first, or if you want the light down first for the body. So I just put it there along the side. And then I just...
Is that kind of like a turkey bite?
Well, it's supposed to imitate it. It doesn't have the fuzzy ridges on it, you know. But other than that, that's kind of what it's supposed to imitate. Okay. So what you're going to do is tie that down there like that. I bring it back up here. And then what you're going to do is, I'm not going to do, usually if I want to save the material, if you stretch this and hold the very tip of it, it will actually bleach out. The color will bleach out of it. I don't know if it's the heat or if it's because you're holding it, you're stretching it in that particular spot, but it'll take the color out of it. So what I do, if I'm being really meticulous on the material, I'll use my hackle plier on it and then wrap it around. So it, again, like I said, if you want to get that extra fly out of that piece, then I would use my hackle pliers. So what you're going to do is tip that over and hoping you don't catch your tail there. And hoping it's not going to flip over on me. Come on, you. Flip it over, there we go. What you're gonna do, you know, and you can pull on this will stretch a little bit. And then what you're gonna do is wrap this. The lighting is not the best, so please bear with the wrapping. When there's light, I can actually wrap this not too bad. And I'm just gonna do. So, you know, you got at least one, and depending on size, you get another couple. So you're going to get roughly anywhere from 2 to 3 flies out of a strip. Then what you're going to do is going to put a thorax on it, a little bit darker than, I've got some Arizona brown it's called. And then again, like I said, I'm putting it on really light. I'm not putting it on really heavy. You can add easier than taking it off. And I'm going to put a couple of wraps behind it, like that. And I'm just going to come down here. And I'm not going to come all the way down to the eye. I'm going to come down just close to the eye. And then I'm going to come back up again. Just so I've got that bulge in there for the thorax. And then I'm going to bring that up there. I'm going to do that. Then I'm going to tip it. Oh, that was my finger that snapped. Tip it over. Now what I'm going to do here is I'm going to wrap, going to try to. I'm going to wrap up some loose wraps here to start with. This is the hardest part likely of the pattern. So now you got a fairly solid post there. And I'm just going to take the same hackle that I used for the and I'm going to do it the same way. I don't know if it matters one way or the other, which way the hackle is sitting. But I put it with the dull side pointed to me. And then I'm going to tie down. And then I'm just going to wrap up. And if you can wrap up a couple of extra up here, by all means do it. It's all in the way you hold your mouth. Come on, you. And you're going to tie that off. Might have went up too high. give them to him, I think. And what you're going to do is you're going to tip this over. First off, you're going to bring your thread over to the front. Then you're going to tip that over, and you're going to tie over that. Bring it down. Over again. Again and again and again. Maybe it's okay. And there you go. So you've got the wings, you got the legs and the thorax, and it's all in the surface film.
How's it supposed to ride?
Right in the surface, or right in the film?
Does it ride with the wing down, wing on the top of the surface?
Yes.
Okay.
So that's kind of a cripple, a merger, no, it just looked kind of neat, and when Ken showed it to me, and it's something a little different, you know, it's something that you don't do every day. It's with the idea of putting the hackle over instead of around it and stuff like that, so.